is impossible. That is absolutely impossible what he just did. That may be the greatest catch I've ever seen in my life.
Good morning. Good morning. We're back again, Destination Fantasy Podcast. This is the NFL Draft Recap Special. Along with my co-host, Deshaun, we have Keelan, who's coming back. He was here for, it wasn't the Super Bowl special, but it was a few weeks afterwards, right?
It was the Eagles special.
The Eagles special.
The Philly special. Might as well go ahead and call it the Philly special.
The Philly special. Oh, man. But before we begin, how you all doing this fabulous morning?
Dude, I feel pretty good. I was, excited about the way that my Steelers drafted. So, man, I'm ready to talk about it, bro.
Same here. I'm good. Let's go.
All right. Let's jump into it. So, as you know, the NFL draft started on Thursday night, first round. So basically, we're going to discuss the first round more so, and then there's other players that will have impact later, but. So the Jags, I mean, they can't miss with Trevor Lawrence here, and they also had the 25th pick and got his boy Travis Etienne. So they got the Clemson connection in Jacksonville. What are you all thoughts on this one?
Man, Jamar, when I seen that, I'm like, there's no way that they're gonna pick Travis Etienne here, and it's like it kind of was like running through my mind, like, what if they pick him? What if they pick him? What if they pick him? So, and they did. I'm quite sure that Trevor Lawrence is gonna embrace him with open arms, and those two guys get to start their NFL journey together. So, like, how sweet would that be? The only thing that I want to talk about from that perspective is the hit to the other running back there. What's the guy's name?
James Robinson.
James Robinson. Okay, so I see like a lot of people think that his stock may drop because of the addition of a Travis Etienne, but if they can do this the right way, bring that guy on slowly but surely, maybe they'll have a backfield like, let's say, in Cleveland. We know what Travis Etienne can do, inside the passing game. We've seen it. He's a home run threat every time he touches the football. So the first round, man, those two guys, they did a hell of a job.
Yep, exactly. I feel the same way. Can't go wrong with Trevor Lawrence. He's Trevor Lawrence. Been talking about him since the last 4 or 5 years. So you don't miss with Trevor Lawrence. Etienne, I think it'll make the backfield a lot more explosive. Him and James Robinson, it's only a compliment. It's not a knock to James Robinson. I think it's only a compliment. Those both compare with each other, learn from each other. They're both young, so it's not they got a long way to go. Like that backfield is going to be explosive. So,
facts, man. Beginning of the Urban Meyer era here, and getting off to the right foot by getting your franchise quarterback. Like I said, can't miss prospect there. And like you said, Keelan, we've been talking about this guy, like 4 or 5 years now. And so, instant fantasy impact for both of these guys. James Robinson, I mean, if they do it right, I mean, they both can have value. But, I mean, we'll see what happens. But definitely a good 3 days for Jacksonville there. So, second pick. Zach Wilson, they kind of called him the Disney Channel movie star here, because that's what he looks like. He does. A Disney Channel movie. But Jets got them one at number 2. I guess I think, Deshaun, before we started, you were saying that the Jets won the draft?
Man, I did. Adding a guy like this, I don't want to jump the gun. You know what I mean? I watched a lot of film on this guy just because a couple of clips that I saw, I'm like, man, he's explosive and he fits today's, quarterback. Like, you want a quarterback that's going to get mobile, get outside the pocket, make the throws. He can do all of that. I think his 40 time was 4.4, man, which is that. I mean, that's explosive. That's like, I think like the last time a quarterback, had that was like Robert Griffin or something like that. But like, this guy can get it done. He's a smart quarterback. Like, he can make the big throws. They got some additions for this guy. You know what I mean? They, in the first round, they finished it up with Elijah Vera Tucker. You know what I mean? So, and they added Elijah Moore, a wide receiver from Ole Miss. He's gonna be great. They already got some more talent there at wide receiver. But man, just looking at the way how those guys drafted there, like they did an amazing job. But to stick up on the Zach Wilson topic, I mean, he's looking very Josh Allen-esque at this very, very moment. Can hurt you in both ways, and that arm is ridiculous.
Yeah. Zach Wilson, projected number 2 already. It is what it is. I mean, I think the weapons he has, they did more for him this weekend than they did for Sam Darnold the last 3 years to play for them. I mean, this is so he's lined up to succeed. They got the defensive minded coach and what's Salah, how do you say his name?
Close enough.
Yeah, but they got the defensive coach. They got the defensive coach said, "Give me some offense," and that's what they did. They got him some offense, and he said he could take care of the defense. So the Jets should be respectable next year. I won't say they'll be good; they'll be respectable, hopefully. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, they got a good quarterback, and that's how you start the football team: offensive line and quarterback.
I mean, you notice the first 2 teams here that pick quarterbacks, they also got new head coaches, meaning they also like trying to change the culture from the previous regime. So, both organizations has been, in abysmal for a while now. So yeah, you get you a competent coach with a competent quarterback, things may change in a couple of years, may change in a couple of weeks. I mean, definitely a feel good fan base right now. If I'm a Jets fan, what's that, Gang Green? That's what they call them. So, all right. So the real draft started at number 3, and so it was rumored to be Mac Jones, but they took Trey Lance, who has a lot of upside. So, I mean, it's not Justin Fields, but I mean, is he competent here at this pick?
I'm gonna say I really don't know. There's not much film on the guy. Where did he come from? North Dakota State or something like that?
North Dakota State.
So I didn't get a chance to see him like that. But I guess what he did at his pro days, and when the NFL scouts came in and saw this guy, he must have wowed him. They said that he's a smart player. He'll be able to get it done. Out of all the quarterbacks that were drafted, I think this guy is set up with a team that is built to win now. So if he does go in there and do his thing and, try to win over that starting job there, then, I mean, I think he has a shot to actually make the playoffs in his first season, other than these other guys who we already mentioned. That team is loaded up on both sides of the football whenever they are healthy. And for them to just be sold on this guy, man, I am looking forward to seeing how his career is going to turn out in these shortcoming years.
Nice.
Yeah, I think Trey Lance was a project. I don't know if he'll play this year, but I think Shanahan thinks what he can do with him when he is ready to play will be scary. The difference between from what I heard between him and Jimmy or him and Mac Jones is his mobility. So with the way Kyle Shanahan is able to draw up run plays, if you can put in a quarterback who can also make plays with his legs, I think that offense will be very dangerous because Kyle Shanahan is a great play caller, I believe. The defense, like Deshaun said, they're loaded on both sides of the ball. So if you add that dynamic to that offense, the ability for the quarterback to make plays with his legs, I think, yes, whenever he gets in there, their offense will take another step forward.
I mean, what both of you all said are correct, in my opinion. Kyle Shanahan is a genius when it comes to play calling. 49ers are, I mean, by far the best team in the top 10. That's ready to win now, and that's because they traded up and they had a lot of injuries last year, this and that. And so, Shanahan believes he was a quarterback away. Otherwise, he wouldn't make this trade or make this pick, point blank. So, Jimmy G, I don't know. I mean, from a fantasy perspective, I mean, Jimmy G was never a guy to be reckoned with. But Trey Lance upside in that regard, I mean, he's set up for success once he's actually ready. I mean, that could be sooner than later, or that can be later. I mean, regardless, like both of you all said, the upside is definitely there. I know there's a lot of unknown with the film and stuff coming from North Dakota State. I know you and you know, you're familiar with guys that come out of that school.
Yeah.
but nevertheless, you know, the draft definitely got cooking at 3, and it was definitely a positive domino effect afterwards. Now, with this next pick here, I'm gonna get on them really quick. And I know overall they had a great draft, but I personally felt like they should have just took a quarterback here. I know Kyle Pitts is, you know, arguably the best prospect in this whole draft. I mean, they talking about him like, you know, Saquon Barkley when he came out, like instant Hall of Famer. But I think Kyle Pitts is the real deal, like for real. But it's like, dude, the Atlanta Falcons got so many holes. So many holes. It's like you gonna draft another weapon. Matt Ryan's gonna throw for 6,000 yards just to go 6-11 next year. That's what I feel like. They gonna do all this just to get the bottom of the division once again. But I mean, he's a can't miss prospect. But what's you all thoughts here?
I think what they did, Jamar, was like a lot of, you know, NFL analysts and like the big brains up top said that this guy was probably the number 2 prospect overall on the board. So, you know, once they got their chance to draft him, it was like, okay, he's here. Like, let's go ahead and draft him. And he was drafted at 4. Like, that's the highest, you know, like like pick for like a tight end ever. So I mean, that all, you know, in its own just says like a lot about what this guy can bring to the table. So like you already mentioned, Jamar, you couple that with Matt Ryan, Julio Jones there, Calvin Ridley, that offense can be explosive. But I mean, to what point though? You know what I mean? Like, did they do this? Did they make this huge addition just to go 6-11, like you said? So it's way too many holes to fill on that Atlanta roster right now. But I just wish they would have focused primarily up on like the defensive side of the ball. We know they can get cooking on offense, and Kyle Pitts was the best player available. I would have probably done the same thing, honestly. So I like the pick. I just don't necessarily love it. Upside is tremendous as far as fantasy football goes. I think he can be one of those tight ends that you pick in the middle, in like the middle rounds.
Like really quick, Keelan, I just want to say really quick. I just want to say, as far as fantasy, I mean, I think he's a top 5 option already off the bat. But, go ahead, Keelan.
This reminded me of the Dallas Cowboys last year. Last year, the Cowboys needed what? Defense. First round, where'd they go? CeeDee Lamb. They strengthened their strength. This year, the Falcons need defense. What do they do to go Kyle Pitts? They strengthen their strength. Y'all can score the ball. Y'all can move the ball. We know that. All right, stop somebody. How often are y'all going to win a game 50-51? I mean, it's highly unlikely, especially in the division you're playing in. But hey, I mean, if you're looking at projections in the future, I guess Kyle Pitts could be a good anchor for like the next quarterback or whoever comes in, because Matt Ryan won't be there to enjoy his success. So, I mean, we'll see. Julio might not even be there to enjoy Kyle Pitts' success, but it is a great pick because Kyle Pitts, he's a freak. So, but yeah, they strengthen their strength. I mean, so we'll see them picking in the top 10 next year.
You know what? You're right, and you know it. Like with you bringing that up, I'm about to. Now I didn't have this planned, but I'm about to do this. Give me 1 second here. We about to, like, you know, just give a reminder of how bad they were. Like, look at this. Kyle Pitts gonna help you do that?
Well, Kyle Pitts would have probably caught the ball. Kyle Pitts would have probably got the ball.
Like, bro, like,
yeah.
Like this is how you gonna set the bar for winning culture. I get it. You know, like you said, Sean, I get it. But if I was them, I know they need defense. Like, honestly, if you're not taking a quarterback at 4, I probably would have traded back and got more capital. I probably would. That would have been me, instead of just waiting for an opportunity like they are, instead of going grab it. So,
Yeah, I'm with you guys both on it, but it's if you got a chance, like you said, Jamar, like they talking about this guy like he's the the next big thing, in which he pretty much is. I guess they just didn't want to pass that up. Like I said, I think that's the reason why I like it. I just don't love it. You know what I mean? So
that football was defense. Nah, we going offense.
that's pretty much what they did, man. So that's.
Oh man! All right, so we're gonna do a quick detour here because we got our Jags fan. Our Jags fan is here. Mike Myers, he's here. He was here 2 weeks ago. Oh, he's not here anymore. But when he gets here, when he comes back, we'll take care of it. We'll come back. We'll circle back to the Jags on that one. Oh man! So, all right. So Bengals had a tough decision at 5, in my opinion. They could have, went with the elite offensive tackle, or they could have got Joe Burrow's running mate, Jamar Chase, and that's who they chose. I mean, that's going to be an elite combination for years to come. But well, matter of fact, yeah. Since you were still a fan in that division, like, what's your thoughts, man?
I mean, oh man, it's like another wide receiver, a tough one at that we were gonna have to like cover. Once I saw that, my jaw dropped. But for them, I mean, it's kind of tough. I get it. He is a wide receiver there. I thought that wide receivers were pretty darn good, like from like the previous year, and I think that they could have, maybe got one of those top offensive linemen, to make sure that Joe Burrow stay upright. I know that they addressed that later in like the draft, but I think that there should have been a better pick. We know what Joe Burrow can do. We saw how tragic his freaking injury was. Like that sucked. Like it really did. I just thought that they would have picked a O lineman here. Jamar Chase is great, the best wide receiver on the board, and I think that's why they did that. And it does help that they already have that rapport. Like you said, Jamar, I think this is going to be quite the 1-2 punch.
Yeah, I'm not as upset at this pick as a lot of people I heard were. I think you get your quarterback comfortable. I mean, yeah, he needs to stand up right, but you give him somebody who's able to. He's comfortable with on the outside, and he played great last year. And you can bring in his mate from his buddy from college, arguably the best receiver in the draft, to play with him in the league. I mean, I feel like you got to do that. Like I said, yes, he has to stay up straight because you can't throw the ball to a quarterback, to a wide receiver laying on your back. But for those two to grow and develop together, I think that would be a deadly combination. Like I said, for years to come. Like we get look at the upside and the projection in the future. If Joe Burrow is able to stay healthy the next couple of years, when they can't like get some real players in there to protect them, him and Jamar Chase will be scary.
Man, it must be something in the water at LSU, man. They just really building these wide receivers, bro.
Yeah,
like,
wide receiver
they are pumping them out, like seriously.
Mm-hmm.
Bro. They're deadly. And just a reminder, Jamar Chase, he opted out last season for COVID. So if you're watching live, these are highlights from the previous year. So, I mean, this dude has been a stud the whole time. Yeah, that's going to be a dangerous combination. And it seemed like the theme with the wide receivers that went early, they basically, gave them, familiarity back with the quarterbacks that they used to run with. And that chemistry like helps so much, especially with a young quarterback. You give them somebody they're familiar with, it makes them more, comfortable to get adjusted to the NFL and get into their prime. So yeah, I feel like, that's definitely going to be a deadly combo for years to come. All right, so I think our Jags fan is ready, so let's get him in here. All right, take 2. All right, Mike Myers.
What's up, gents? Good morning.
Good morning.
My dogs were going crazy.
It's all good. It's all
excited
good.
about Trevor Lawrence.
Of course, we got Trevor Lawrence. I hated how long it took.
They did give like a whole life story. I learned so much about Trevor Lawrence in those 10 minutes that I shouldn't have known.
Although I did see, in their defense, I saw the video afterwards. Like Urban called him right away, and he said they told us to wait to make the pick. So like the league made them wait.
I'm sure they did all that production for all that film. They did that.
I said, nah, we running this film.
we invested too much time into this.
Yeah.
They milked it, bro. They seriously milked it.
Oh man, so yeah, you like the only real Jags fan that I know.
Ever?
Like probably all of us really know. You're the only one. So, I mean, so you got Trevor Lawrence at 1, and then at 25 you got Travis Etienne, his running mate. Urban Meyer's the coach. New coach.
When they drafted Travis Etienne, I was like in like a good shock. Like I thought for sure they'd go defense, and I think most of you guys know my opinion on drafting running backs in the first round. But I was like, at 1, it was late, and even with the Steelers too, taking Najee Harris, I thought if you can get a good one late, then it's okay. But they shouldn't be going top 10. But I was like, man, way to make, like you guys were talking about with making Joey Burrow feel comfortable grabbing Jamar Chase. I think a lot of it was just trying to make, I mean, he is a good player. It's not like they just drafted him only because they want to make Lawrence feel comfortable. But that's going to be a dynamic backfield.
Man, look at that. That's this dude. You know what? Look, like I'm gonna say this about Trevor Lawrence. Like, look, I'm a huge college football fan. Me and Jamar, like, we legit like study this, like seriously. And watching this dude play is, you see this big lanky guy with his, long hair, looks like a girl, but this guy is a legit ball player, man. Like, he's tough, he's smart, and the things that he's done off the field in certain areas is just like, man, I couldn't be happier for another guy. We all knew that he was going to be a number 1 overall pick someday, since in high school he was 14 years old,
right,
playing starting at like a varsity level. I'm like, this dude is going to be good. So, man, you got to tip your hat to Trevor Lawrence. Like, seriously. I think that's the reason why they ran that 30-minute special on him. So,
yeah, I mean, he's going to be a generational – he is a generational talent, so you don't, like, just draft a number 1 prospect and then not really say anything about him, That would be kind of boring TV.
Look at that, bro.
The Jags got Zach Wilson, but they dropped the ball winning those games last year.
Dude, I said that. Was it last week? Yeah. Was I on last week or the week before?
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Dude, the end of the last season, man, like James Robinson wasn't playing at the end of the year. I mean, they were just like pulling dudes, and they were healthy scratches. Some like BS. Bro. I think James Robinson was had a hamstring issue. I think they kept listing at the end of the season, and I was like, these dudes are healthy. I'm like, this is. But I was like, whatever. I'm like, don't win games. I was like, the Jets. Who did they beat? They beat the Browns, and who else did they beat?
I can't remember, but
I know they went on a winning streak, which is crazy.
One thing I know, once the mayor of Jacksonville or Duval County over there was all in, you knew the fix was in.
Right.
Yeah.
So
I mean, that's crazy and I get it. It's not the players on the field want to win the game. So Jacksonville did the right thing and put the players on the field that weren't, no matter what they did, were going to win a game. And
oh, wow, that's encouraging.
I mean, James Robinson was top 10 from a fantasy perspective.
Top 5, I think.
Top 5. I mean,
yeah.
And he wasn't. I mean, they were literally. He was a healthy. I don't care what anybody says. Those were healthy scratches.
No, for sure.
I mean, so it's just it's crazy, but
nevertheless,
this is where we're at in the NFL.
Yeah. Yep.
If you're gonna be bad, be really, really, really bad.
And if you're gonna be bad for that guy right there. So.
Oh yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, remember, I mean, like a couple of years ago. I mean, I love Tua, but like a couple of years ago, the tank for Tua stuff, and I was like, I'm not sure you tank for Tua. Great player, seems like a great person, but that's not the type of dude that you tank for.
Yeah,
I mean,
hopefully Zach Wilson has a great career, but Jets, when this guy is coming, lose. Simple as that. It's not hard. Just don't
I'm
win.
with it.
Like,
I'm
just
with
don't
it.
win.
Oh man.
Here's the other thing. So, assuming Trevor Lawrence is not going to be a bust, 50% of first-round QBs are busts. So 2 out of those other 4, Fields, Wilson, who else went? Jones and Trey Lance. 2 of those are going to be busts. So who's gonna?
Yeah.
It can't be Fields. It can't be Fields because we'll never see Jamar again. So let's.
I can't see it. I you know what? I think all of these guys, in my opinion, they have the potential to be at least NFL starters and not like a huge bust. Jamar, look, Justin, I guess I'm gonna just like hold off on that for right now. Like, we're gonna definitely dive into that because I want to be able to get his I want him to be able to get his time. So
right,
we'll talk about that a little bit later.
Matter of fact, let's keep it moving really quick. And so we're gonna go to another school that pumps out wide receivers like no other. So this year Jalen Waddle goes 6 to the Dolphins, and
Roll Tide.
And once again, another connection to make the quarterback feel comfortable. And I feel like this was probably either him or Smith, but I think this pick here was probably the perfect pick for them at this time based on how the draft was going. And man, oh man, Dolphins got them one. Quickly, what are you all's thoughts why I play this nice little mixtape for us?
So the thing about Jalen Waddle is, man, this dude can flat out fly. He is just an absolute playmaker. And the only reason why they probably didn't take a Devontae Smith is because they already had, Will Fuller there. So I think he's going to play in like the slot as well. Maybe they're going to mix it up with him and Waddle a little bit. But man, like, he is like a matchup nightmare. You couple that with Devontae Parker, and look out, dude. Like, that is like one crazy group of wide receivers there. So I mean, whoever the quarterback is there, whether it be Tua, whether they trade for one, whether it's someone else, I think Miami Dolphins are set to be competitive in that division for years to come. We already know what they can do up on the defensive side of the ball. Got one of the best secondaries inside football. They just shored up a monster of a wide receiver, in my opinion. This is going to be good as immediate impact on like the fantasy game. So definitely keep your eyes out for this guy right here.
They gave Tua a chance, and that's all you can ask for. Like, Tua has no excuses at this point. You have weapons, you have a defense. Like, Tua has no excuses. You got your boy there. You know what I'm saying? Water can fly. You got Devontae Parker. You got Fuller, and then you have Waddle. Tua has no excuses, basically, in my opinion. Like, if he can figure it out, yeah.
Gesicki,
If Tua can't get it done here, I feel like he might not get another shot after this season.
Dude, look at
you're right. I think you got to move on quickly if he doesn't. By the end of this year, and he's not. If he's losing you games, then he's probably got to. I don't.
Fitzmagic ain't there to save him in the fourth quarter.
That's true, though. That is true.
Let me say this. So, I feel like in this day and age, like, teams are so impatient about developing quarterbacks. Like, he was a rookie last year.
That's true.
And we're talking about moving on if you don't get it right this year.
Listen, I'm not saying I agree with it. I'm just telling you that's how the NFL works. If you don't get it, or if you don't look like you're getting it in 1 or 2 years, you out of it. Look at Sam Darnold. I believe Sam Darnold is still a decent quarterback. I believe Jameis Winston is a good quarterback. But if you don't look like you're getting it done in those first couple of years, they moving on. Like, and I'm sorry, but it's that simple. Like, whether you're a rookie or a vet.
I think you at least give them to year 3. Year 3 is usually the year that if you it or not. like he only has a career, like maybe 9 starts.
Nine
Something like
starts
eight,
and
somewhere
nine
around.
starts and like what? And Fitzmagic finished 4 of them.
Yeah, so just give him time. But what the Dolphins are doing is like you're saying, just giving him the weapons. You basically giving him everything he needs to see if he's going to succeed or not. Like you said, Deshaun, we know what they can do on the defensive side of the ball. This team is built to make a playoff run, get in the playoffs, and make some noise based on how the team performed last year. And I think a lot of people forgot how explosive and good Jalen Waddle is. Because Devontae Smith, I know he had the Heisman year and was uncoverable in the national championship game and everything else. But if Waddle was healthy, I mean,
It could have been him getting being a Heisman winner if he had been healthy last year.
And Devontae Smith was on record saying if Waddle was playing, he wouldn't have won the Heisman. So
right. Well, all that production went to him. I mean, which is still insane because you knew the ball was then going to him, and he still was a monster. But all those touchdowns and all that yardage would have been split up between the two of them. But
yeah, it looks like if you want to play in the NFL, I guess you couple yourself with Nick Saban, he'll get you there.
We said that 2 weeks ago. Just go to Bama.
He will get you there.
That dude comes knocking on your door. You just say yes immediately.
Yeah,
pretty much. If Saban comes for DJ, just say less and sign the paper, man. Don't even say anything. Just sign the paper.
Hey, mom ain't raised no fool, man.
and prayers for Waddle. Hopefully he comes back 100% from that injury.
Yes, sir.
Oh man. So yeah, Dolphins did a good thing here. I feel like the Lions probably did the best thing for them at that particular time since, this guy here, fell in their lap. I thought he was going to go sooner than this, but everything happened for a reason. I mean, I can probably name maybe one wide receiver on the Detroit Lions right now. I don't know. I'm not complaining about it by any means. I mean,
is Galladay still there or no?
No, he's in New York.
Oh, that's right. And Marvin Jones signed with Jacksonville.
Yep.
I literally don't.
They signed Tyrell Williams. That's the only reason why I know. Other than that, I don't know who's on their roster from last year. Period.
And who's their tight end that's pretty good?
T.J. Hawkinson.
Thank you. Although he didn't really do anything last year.
Oh, he was okay from a fantasy perspective.
Yeah, I just
Second
don't
half
think
of the year.
he's just not a. I mean, there aren't a lot of Travis Kelce's, but he's not a dude that can be your best wide receiver and a blocker and do all that stuff. I mean, he's good, but
yeah, he's definitely not Kelce. He's not Kittle. He's not even Kyle Pitts. He's not Darren Waller by far either, so he's not one.
Right.
But he's solid.
No, he's very solid, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But nonetheless, the Lions picked up somebody that can block for, Jared Goff. He's in a new situation here. It's not, he went from glamours and Hollywood to, to building cars. That's what it is.
Motor City.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, they did excellent with that pick. Maybe Jared Goff has a little bit more time to throw the ball to his new targets. So I guess,
whoever they may be.
Yeah,
but
it wasn't sexy, but it was smart.
Exactly, and that's what I was just about to get to. Like, I heard a lot of people saying that if it is one surefire Hall of Famer in this draft class, it is this guy right here. So I think they definitely did the right thing. We all thought that he was going to go a little bit sooner, maybe to Cincinnati, perhaps, who really needed that assurance on the offensive line there. So happy for this guy. He was the best offensive lineman inside of college football this previous year, and you see these highlights and exactly why. He's extremely athletic. The way that I mean, look at the guy. I would love to have him up on our team right now. So he's good, and not only pass blocking, and so he is definitely legit. So I can't wait to see him play.
He a big boy.
Yeah. Now, granted, he is up on the Detroit Lions, so that kind of sucks. But still, I'm gonna still roll with the analysts on this one, and maybe if there is one surefire Hall of Famer in the first round, is this gentleman right here.
Well, there's two then. Trevor Lawrence.
Oh man! All right, so if we're done with this guy here, that's fine because so the next couple of picks is where I need to start sending out fruit baskets here. All right, so we gonna get into it. So the first key domino for how I'm feeling right now starts with the Carolina Panthers at 8. I mean, they could have went with Fields, but I feel like they made a smart choice as well. J.C. Horn, corner. I mean, their defense has been atrocious for a couple of years now. I mean, I feel like Surtain was probably the best corner, but he wasn't too far from it. I guess personal preference. He went to South Carolina if I'm right there. What's your thoughts?
I mean, I like it. I like it. Jamar, like how you and I do when we are picking like our wide receivers, we'll say like, what's the matchup looking like? Oh, they're playing the Panthers. Well, start everybody. It is just that type of thing. No disrespect to your Eagles at one point. They were the same way.
Disrespect us.
No, yeah, we are fully disrespecting.
Yes, disrespect. We deserve it
every week.
So the addition of J.C. Horn here is a good one. And like you already mentioned, Jamar, I really thought it was going to be Patrick Surtain if they were to take one. But they, reached up a bit, to draft this guy. And he is the real deal. There's nothing bad that I can say about this guy right here. I think he's the son of, former Pro Bowl wide receiver Joe Horn. So that's definitely a good look, man. So, no, I like the pick. I think he will be solid addition, and they address the need. So you can't really hate that.
Yeah, this had to be preference. Like Surtain was there. This had to be preference. They preferred Horn over Surtain. They saw something, and yeah, you can't be mad at it. Yeah. Top one or two corner. All right, whatever. You pick two, you pick one, whatever. Like you can't be mad at this pick. Great cover guy. So it improved that defense. So yeah, like we'll see how he matches up with the big boys in the league. Yeah, but I'm not mad at this pick at all.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that why they went with him instead of Surtain is I think Surtain is going to be very good, obviously. But there's probably a little bit of like, okay, that dude's got a monster D line. Like he's got other good running mates. You might be a little like, okay, how good is he really? When he's also playing, kind of like the Mac Jones thing. Like, how good is Mac Jones when he's got all these monsters on the field?
That's a good point.
How good is Surtain when he's playing with great other DBs and a great defensive line? So this dude was dominant. I mean, does anybody else know any South Carolina players?
Not today.
No, sir.
No.
I mean, that's a valid point.
No, it is really.
That is, and I'm gonna just end it by saying, Panthers did well. They didn't take Justin Fields. Let's keep moving. So, all right, we're gonna go with the next domino, who I'm definitely giving a gift basket to. Alex was originally supposed to be on here because I was definitely gonna get him one live on the show, but it's all good. But I mean, Broncos secondary, I don't want to pass against them. I mean, Patrick Mahomes might be the only anomaly there, but that secondary is tough. It is tough. They already got weapons on offense. I mean, maybe they still holding out hope for Aaron Rodgers. Please do, but yeah.
Good luck.
That team is tough. So go ahead.
That'd be great seeing Rodgers and Mahomes have to play twice a year.
Boy,
yeah. Yeah.
So it's I like it, Jamar, and again, I don't love it. Look, my brother, he is a Broncos fan, and I and Keelan talk periodically about like what they're gonna do with this situation. And my brother said that he would be livid if they didn't pick anything other than a quarterback. And needless to say, he was very upset at this pick. Keelan, I think you called it. You said that they were going to go defense.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that they were going to go defense. I thought they were going to take a linebacker at this pick here, but they went corner. And like you mentioned, Jamar, this dude is good. He's good. He was the number one, cornerback inside the league. You know what I mean? His daddy played in the league, so he already knows the preparation and what goes into it mentally as well as physically. So he knows what is expected. And man, like this, when you mention shutdown corner, he is all of that. So I can understand why they picked him here. I mean, it was a little bit of like a head scratch, but for the value that you're going to get out of this guy, like that's why I really like the pick. I just don't love it.
Yeah,
they got Teddy Bridgewater. They don't need a quarterback now.
Right. They did the same thing. I feel like they did the same thing Atlanta did, except it was the other side of the football. They strengthened their strength. So if you're going to go to Denver, you have to win the game. First person to score 7 wins. I mean, they like if Teddy Bridgewater can give you something, they have weapons on offense. So if Teddy Bridgewater can be a decent quarterback, which he is, and I feel like I mean it's not great. You don't think you get a lot from Teddy Bridgewater at this point, but he has a lot of weapons. But that defense, yeah, good luck trying to score. So that's what it comes down to. Yes, I think it's not a bad pick, but yeah, good luck trying to score against the Broncos.
Yeah, I think, and with Carolina also, both of them. I mean, you look at Tampa's got, even after Brady leaves. I mean, those wide receivers are young. Michael Thomas is a monster, and then you got Travis Kelce and Hill and Keenan Allen. I mean, you got a bunch of dudes, and then who's in Oakland?
Waller. Darren Waller.
Waller, yeah.
Yeah, but
Waller
the
and
wide receiver.
Ruggs.
Yeah,
Ruggs.
Ruggs.
So they probably like, okay, we got so many dudes that we have to play twice a year. But we need somebody that's also young, that's going to be here for a while, that can stop them or try and stop them.
I mean, that's a valid point. Yeah, like you've been saying, straight from your strength on this one. But like you said, Mike, I mean, you're going against elite personnel on the opposite side of the ball in that division. I mean, if the Broncos want to be competitive, I mean, with any team, you gotta be competitive within your division first. So I mean, that helps. I mean, Broncos are on record saying they once they acquired Teddy Bridgewater, they kind of cool off on drafting the quarterback. And with my last thought here, like, thank you for doing so. Thank you for trading for Teddy. Thank you for not drafting Justin Fields. And so we're gonna keep it moving. All right, so and this is the third domino right here. Like, shout out to your Eagles. Like, I'm giving you a fruit basket and a Christmas card and everything else.
I'll send you my address.
I got you. And so the Cowboys originally had this pick, and then all of a sudden it said the Eagles was on the clock. I'm like, the Cowboys and the Eagles made a trade, and I'm glad they did. You know why?
Yes, sir.
Because the Eagles stole the Giants pick here. That's exactly what happened. And so this is the third wide receiver who's getting back to a quarterback he's familiar with. And
show them highlights.
No, he's right. He's right. Dude, whenever you can land a Heisman Trophy winner on your football team,
wide receiver, a Heisman Trophy winner.
Exactly. Like that just like does it. And
Talk about it.
Keelan, dude, I was so happy for you guys when you made this pick. I think I called it. I think I called it. I think that was one of the picks that I said that he would actually go to. Mm-hmm. So I'm glad that you guys made this happen. You needed a playmaker in that wide receiving core. We already know that Ertz may not be there. You still got Dallas Goedert. You add him in with the quarterback that he's already familiar with, and like watch out. Again, from a fantasy perspective, he is immediate impact there. I think he's going to have a very good football season if all things can click within that circle. So adding Devontae Smith, this dude is the real deal. So kudos to your Eagles, Keelan.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. 3 words you will never hear me say again. Thank you, Dallas. Thank you, Dallas. Because the Giants were going to get him. We traded with the Cowboys. We got him. We got a weapon. Now, Rager is still to be determined, but this dude can ball. We all know that. Like, Waddle went down with injury, but like Mike said earlier, like for you to know that where the ball is going and he still does what he does, our dude is a beast. So, and we needed a dog at the wide receiver position. We haven't had a dog at the wide receiver position in a very long time. So, yes, T.O., yeah. So this, I am super excited about this. He pairs up with Jalen Hurts. I'm happy we gave Jalen Hurts. We're giving Jalen Hurts a real shot at being a QB1. It's not a project, or it's not a waiting project for next year to draft another quarterback. No, I think we're really giving Hurts a real shot to be QB1. I like this pick. And as you can see, I'm excited. Let's go. Fly, Eagles, fly.
Oh, man. Mike, got anything to add?
No. That dude's the Slim Reaper. For him to drop that far.
Oh,
look at the tape. My gosh.
It speaks for itself. Nothing needs to be said.
Dude, I feel like everything happens for a reason. I feel like, Waddle's injury unlocked Devontae Smith to the world. And for him to be where we are right now. And I also want to say, with Carolina and the Broncos drafting corners, the Dallas Cowboys was in a position to where, hey, they took both our guys. There's no reason for me to be here.
No.
Oh, and the Eagles is like, Cowboys ain't got their players. Let's see if we can trade up and get our guy, which they did. And so I am eternally grateful here. Yeah, just give me 1 second here. I'm about to set this up perfectly here.
Oh, good. Possible rookie of the year. I'm all in.
I bet you are.
Offense, it can be respectable. Hurts, Sanders, Rager, if to be TBD, Devontae Smith, Goddard, and as of today, Hurts is still on the roster. I thought he would have been traded on draft day or somewhere during the draft, but he's still on the roster. So I'm going to factor him in as being a weapon as well.
Okay.
All right, so it is time.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Boys and girls.
Wait, am I pointing this way? Yep, there we go. Go ahead, Jamar. You have the floor.
Take it away.
All right, so like I said, I want to personally thank the Carolina Panthers, personally thank the Denver Broncos, definitely thank your Philadelphia Eagles, and I want to thank, I guess, Ryan Pace to a certain degree.
I never thought I heard you say that.
Big words right there.
Yeah. And that's because his job was ultimately on the line. So he basically had a figuratively speaking a gun to his head to make this pick. And so Bears Nation, stand up. Chicago, stand up. We got us one. We got us one. We got a quarterback, a real quarterback. Like in the history of 102 years of this franchise, we finally got a quarterback. We never had one of this caliber, ever, whatsoever. And I honestly don't know how to feel. Like I woke up on Friday, like I had to double check and make sure what I saw happened. Like when the draft happened, when they actually made the pick, I literally was running around the house, shaking hands with all the kids. My wife was looking at me sideways. I was taking selfies with everybody. Like I got drafted. Like that's a real story. What you saw me put on Facebook was a real thing. Like I did that. I did all of that. And look, look, so Andy Dalton, I mean, the rusty rifle, he's gonna start. He's gonna start. He's gonna take the hits. I mean, my Bears did other great things in this draft. We'll discuss that later once we're done with these first round picks. But like this is I never would have thought, because when they made that trade, I'm like, there's a part of me like they're gonna take Mac Jones just because of their history. Like it's never been evident that they would take Justin Fields for a couple of reasons, but he's the steal of the draft. My team gets an A+ for doing so, and if you think otherwise, you can kick rocks. But yeah, I'm excited. 4.4 speed, accurate, can sling it, battle tested, and for him to somehow, go from being, head and shoulders the number 2 quarterback, entering this NFL draft to somehow almost falling the number, the 5th best quarterback. I don't get it, but everything happens for a reason. And so, yeah. He's here in Chicago, baby. Let's go.
So my thing about Justin Fields is, look, Jamar, you already said it. You already said it best. Like, this dude is a legit gamer. Again, battle tested. I think he suffered like a punctured lung and like a cracked rib or something, and he still tried to get out up on the field and play. Like, you can't, like, that's an intangible that you can't teach. You cannot teach those type of things. Great pick. Like, I was, every time I'm watching the draft, I got like this little ticker on like this app, and they moved up, and I'm like, here we go. Justin Fields is about to come off the board. I knew it. Like, I felt it as soon as I saw that the Bears moved up. So I see a lot of people have like mixed reviews on this guy, all because he is going to Ohio State, and we already know the former Ohio State quarterbacks did not pan out in the National Football League. But I'm here to say this. I think this guy is different. Look, give him a chance. He is a proven winner. He is a gamer. He looks completely different from those other guys. I can throw out a couple of names like Cardale Jones or Braxton Miller, and just to name a few. Like, he's so much better than those guys. I think this is where that bad tradition stops. I think Justin Fields is going to be the quarterback to bring, a little bit of glory back to playing the QB position from Ohio State. So great pick, Bears. Jamar, I am happy for you. Shout out to my pop, man. You guys got a solid quarterback for years to come.
Yep, exactly. I thought they were going Mac Jones, but thank God they didn't. They went Justin Fields. I think the what is it? The rusty rifle. He'll start the season. I don't think he'll finish the season. I think once that team gets in the groove and they're in that playoff contention, sort of kind of, they're going to throw him in there, and at that point, the Bears will look a lot better than they did with the rusty rifle or gun, whatever, pistol, whatever he is. But yeah, this guy's a great pick, man. This guy's a great pick. I didn't see it. I didn't think the Bears would do it. They did it because it's this, like Jamar said, this is not their history to draft this guy. They did it. It could have been the hot seat. It could have been the gun to Buddy's head. Whatever it was, whatever the reason was for making this pick, they made it. And like Jamar, you cannot be mad at the results. Like, this guy is the best quarterback in y'all franchise already.
That's crazy to say, man.
Over under the number of games before Dalton gets pulled.
Ooh,
4.5.
I say over. I say about 5 or 6.
Really?
Yep. About 6 or 7 for me.
6 or 7.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure you start
5 or 6.
Just throw them in there.
Yeah.
Good.
Yep.
Here's the thing. Like, so with this pick, with them trading up and making this pick, Ryan Pace and Nagy has probably saved their jobs for another couple of years, so they're gonna milk this guy. They gonna milk him. So yeah, I don't think he's gonna.
Well, yeah, they're definitely not getting fired after next year, no matter what happens. Well, maybe not no matter what happens, but
it's hard for them to get fired at this point next year.
Yeah.
Well, you see what happened with the Browns with Baker. Like Hugh tried to milk Baker, and that didn't work out too well for him. So
that's true. But didn't they stay with the same GM?
I believe so, but they got rid of Hugh.
Yeah, I wonder. I could see the Bears doing the opposite. Although I doubt a new GM coming in would keep the head coach. So I think those two dudes are tied together. I think.
Yeah, at this point they are, and I will say this: like Nagy picked this quarterback. He didn't pick Trubisky. Nagy wasn't here when that happened, so Nagy picked this guy. So they're gonna give them time to do what they got to do with him. So, I mean, and they made a hell of a choice. So. And like you said, Deshaun, like let's kill this stigma of Ohio State quarterback. So he's not Cordell Jones. Nope. He's not Braxton Miller. Even though I thought Braxton Miller had the it factor, he just ended up getting hurt and it was never the same. He's not him. He's not Troy Smith. He's not Terrell Pryor. He's not Craig Krenzel, and he's for sure not Dwayne Haskins.
No.
Like first off, like Justin Fields came from an SEC school, then transferred over. That's your first like key factor there. Second, this guy's a gamer by far. Like, I mean, if the evidence wasn't, him throwing 6 touchdowns against Clemson, in the semifinals, I mean, what else is there? The previous year before, he threw for 41 touchdowns and 3 picks.
I mean, look at him running against Alabama.
Like when I was watching him play, he reminded me of Deshaun Watson in a sense. Not necessarily saying they're the same player, but just the way he like rises up to competition.
Correct. I agree.
He is not afraid of the big stage. He isn't
at all. And he finished his like college career with 67 touchdowns and 9 picks. Like
against elite competition.
Yep. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
If he went to any other school, if he had went to any other school, I don't think anybody would have. I don't think he would have fallen this far. To be honest with you.
Yeah, I feel like people like the evaluators overthink things. Like, bro, like look at the tape. He can ball, but like Deshaun was saying, like he went from the second best quarterback in the draft to he might not even be a top 5 quarterback. How did that happen without him even playing a game? Like that makes no sense to me. But hey, they get paid for it. I don't. So,
and I'm grateful for it. So I'm not going to complain.
Right.
So. Yeah. All right. So
he doesn't have to give up. I mean, next year's first and the 4th and 5th. I mean, that is not a lot
at all for a guy of this caliber. I feel like we gave up more for Mitchell Trubisky. Anyway, all right. All right, so just a couple more players in the first round I want to note, and then we'll do draft grades, and then we get into fantasy impact, and then that'll wrap it up. But all right, so the 5th quarterback that went in the first round here, I called him. If anybody that watches, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I called him John Walker's Captain America.
Oh, I can't stand that dude.
And that's good old Mac Jones here. I mean, somehow he was rising up the charts. I mean, originally he was supposed to be a mid to late first round pick, and then the hype train came about, and I honestly thought he was going 3rd. That's how much of a hype train that was happening with this guy. I don't get it, but
no, it's Mac Jones he's not the biggest, he's not the fastest, he doesn't have the strongest arm. But whenever you can couple a quarterback with Bill Belichick, man, I mean, I'm just saying, Tom Brady wasn't that good. He wasn't coming out of college, and like he wasn't highly touted or anything like that. Mac Jones just kind of looks just like that. And as you're watching the tape here, he does have like some of the best, wide receiver and running back, in the nation. So that I think that kind of like takes away from him a little bit. Like, how good is this dude really when he's playing with all Americans all over the field, backfield, wide receivers, defense? Like, he's just playing with just typical all Americans. So I like this pick for New England, and I think this is the pick that they wanted all along. So I want to see if this is going to be like a project. We already know that Cam Newton is there. They already added a bunch of weapons in the offseason. So this may be a sneaky, smart stash by the Patriots in their front office.
Hey, really quick, do anybody else hear any static?
I do. I don't think that's coming from me.
Yeah, I don't have anything going on in here.
Okay,
but
it went away. All right,
but yeah, I knew once Fields and everybody was off the board that the Patriots were going Mac Jones. But the only thing is, back to something Deshaun said, do you think Bill Belichick is that guy when it comes to quarterback? He had Tom Brady for 20 years. He had Garoppolo. I mean, he's decent. Cam Newton didn't look good in that system. Granted, he could have been hurt or whatever the case was. Stidham looks terrible. So I mean, like Bill Belichick doesn't. I don't think Bill Belichick should have that luxury of saying, "Oh, he's a quarterback," because he had the GOAT for 20 years. I feel like. I mean, granted, Mac Jones. We'll see what Mac Jones can be, but
okay. I gotta stop it. Everybody check their mics.
I don't.
I don't think that's you.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know where the heck that's coming from.
Hold on. Eli, I think that's you. Yeah.
Ray, quit licking.
Okay, I think we're clear now.
Okay, everyone's good.
Yeah, I'm good.
Sound now. I took the headphones out.
You sound.
It's a little loud, but you sound like it's still good. Yeah.
Right on.
But yeah, sorry for the interruption. Keelan, was you talking about Mac Jones?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, well I was just talking about Belichick and quarterbacks. Like how does Belichick get that credit for being a good with quarterbacks when he had to go for 20 years? That's all.
I mean,
Belichick's resume. It's only been 1 year, but Garoppolo doesn't look great. With Matt Castle, he was in and out. Jarrett Stidham looks terrible. And Mac Jones could be better than all of them, but it's like, well, I don't want to give Belichick that. I mean, Belichick is probably one of the greatest coaches of all time. But how does he get that credit with the quarterback position when he had to go for 20 years?
You know, I don't think it's more so from the quarterback position, Keelan. I think it's just more so of a plug and play type of deal because we saw what they had done with Matt Castle when Tom Brady was out, and they potentially made the playoffs. Look, I'm not saying that Mac Jones is the next Tom Brady. All I'm saying is I think he just fits what New England wants to do, even more so than Matt Ryan. I mean, I'm sorry, Cam Newton. So look, we already know Cam won't be there for long because of what he has done. Look, they put some weapons around this guy, but at the same time, Mac Jones may be the next thing. He just looks more so like a Tom Brady-esque player for them. So Belichick was sitting there. He was watching everybody move up, move back. He stood his ground, and I think they ultimately got the quarterback that they wanted all along, honestly.
Yeah.
That dude's got ice in his veins, just sitting there chilling at 15. Everyone's talking about he's gonna have to move up to 9 or 10 or wherever to get him, and he just sat back and
didn't
let that
budge.
dude fall to him.
Watched it unfold.
So it's like, I mean, I think we get a chance, you know, gentlemen, to see how good Mac Jones really is without having those. I mean, you can probably just say that everyone on offensive line, maybe, you know, 3 of those guys were All-Americans. We already know the 2 to 3 wide receivers were All-Americans, the running back, like everyone up on that team. So I'm curious to see how good he will be at the next level. Again, I think it's like a little bit of a project, but I just think that he just fits what New England's trying to do.
Well, if you want to see Mac Jones, how he performs without weapons, it ain't gonna be no time soon because the Patriots all over.
True. And so, and the reason why, you know, I called him John Walker's Captain America because it seemed like, you know, Tom Brady, you know, with Steve Rogers, he goes off and retire, and they try to replace him with a Tom Brady type, prototypical type guy, and it's not quite the same. So he's John Walker.
That's fair.
I mean, nevertheless, I mean, we'll see what unfolds, but it's Cam Newton's team until it's not. So we'll see what happens. And so, lastly, who I want to you know, bring up here. So, you know, the Steelers did a thing. Steelers could have either went offensive line with the first pick or running back. Either way, both positions need to be addressed immediately. And they look like they went with the sure running back here in Najee Harris, who's been, you know, who's been, I guess, brilliant since day one stepping in Alabama. I felt like he's been there for 6 years. He just been around for a long time making plays for that team. But, I mean, still a fan. How you feeling?
I mean, I feel pretty good about it. Whenever you can draft the best player in that whatever draft it is, you know, at that, you know, respective position, you kind of got to feel good about it, whether it be a tight end, quarterback, wide receiver, running back, like we did here. So I feel very, very good about it. I almost love it. I would have loved it if, you know, we would have shored up the O-line a little bit more inside, like later in like the draft. I think we went with Kendrick Green, a guard out of Illinois, with like the 3rd pick. So that one definitely made me smile. But Najee Harris is the real deal. And hopefully we'll be able to get back to, you know, ground and pound football. This guy can get it done. He's just a terrific running back. And again, you know, we already know what Bama running backs are all about. The leading rusher over the past 2 years was Derrick Henry. That guy came from Bama, so they are definitely pumping him out there. So, dude, I was super excited about this pick. Again, I don't care how good of a running back you are, if you do not have the hole to run through, you know, you're going to be seemingly trash. So we definitely need to figure that out. But at least we got our running back, hopefully, for like the next couple of years to come. I think we finished dead last in rushing yards per game last year as well. So address, you know, that situation. So you definitely got to be happy about that.
Yeah, I know Deshaun told me, but prior to the draft, that this guy is who he wanted, or one of the guys he wanted on his list, and he got him. Big guy. With Philip Lindsay gone, you need that out there to hold the field. This guy comes in, he's the guy, right? So, I mean, the door's open for him to succeed. This, like I said, I look at the draft as like projections and what will happen in the future. I think this guy will be the RB1 for a long time in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh ground and pound and ground you some more. So they needed a running game. Desperately needed a running game. Right. So this was a great pick for Pittsburgh.
Indeed. And I'll say this. You know, ever since Le'Veon Bell made a business decision a few years ago, the running game has not been the same. Business decision. So everybody took L's. He took an L. Steelers running game took an L, but they got a W on this one. I mean, maybe it preserves Big Ben for a full 16 in his farewell tour. And I don't know, maybe your team can definitely get back to playoff form. Nevertheless, you definitely got you a quality running back. But like you said, if you ain't got an O-line, then it doesn't matter. Ask Saquon Barkley how that is. And I'm a big Saquon fan, and apparently the Giants don't care. So anyway, yeah. We're gonna get into some draft grades here. So let's get this out of the way. All right. So, all right. So let's do the. You know what? We're gonna do the Jets first, just because somebody said that they had the best draft here, and that's
I feel like people say that about the Jets all the time.
Bear with me for a second. All right, so about to pull up the actual draft here that they had. And this is from NFL.com.
Jets.
All right. So they gave him a B, but I mean I feel like they did address a lot of needs. I guess day 3 is the reason why they draft grade was so low. But in the beginning of the draft, like you said, Zach Wilson, offensive guard Tucker there, Elijah Moore, Michael Carter. Like I feel like that is a sleeper pick right there.
Both of the Michael Carters.
Yes, Jamar. Yes.
And so, I mean, the leading running back going into the year before this draft was going to be Tevin Coleman. So I think Michael Carter has a very strong case of having an impact here from day one. But safety, they drafted 3 safeties, 2 corners, and a defensive tackle. Like I guess day 3, Buddy didn't think they didn't do so well, but I mean, Jets defense was atrocious. So
it was.
I didn't have a problem with that.
Yeah. No, it really was. When you can add Zach Wilson was a fantastic quarterback. When you could add that, a top guard, Elijah Moore is great. He is great, and like you said, Jamar, that Michael Carter thing kind of got me excited. Coming into a place where he can potentially be the RB1 there, maybe by the the latter parts of next season. So I mean, I liked everything that they did, and whenever you can see a team come from nothing to basically something, you definitely got to tip your hat to them. And I think a similar situation is going on with Mike's Jacksonville Jaguars. Like they're gonna be tough, man. I think Jacksonville finished right outside my top 3, as in how they did inside the draft. So obviously my top 2 were New York. Well, within my top 3 were New York and Jacksonville.
Yeah, the 2 picks I was happy about for the Jets. I mean, outside of Zach Wilson, obviously, Elijah Moore and Michael Carter. I think Elijah Moore was a great pick. But yeah, I mean, when you can come in and transform your offense in one season to the next, that Jets team is going to look completely different than it did last year. Outside of just the quarterback position with Darnold being gone, that offense might have a little pop to it this year. That defense won't be just play anybody on who you get on fantasy football playing against the Jets. It might have might be a little dog in this year. So yeah, definitely the Jets did a really good job in the draft. They addressed a lot of needs. Not saying they're like a playoff team or anything yet, but they will be a respectable bunch this year, for sure.
I love Jacksonville's draft. They got some dude even late. Andre Cisco from Syracuse playing in the ACC. He played 20 games and had forced 15 turnovers in 20 games. They got some dudes late on the defensive line. And they've actually, I don't want to say always, but they usually draft pretty well and develop. And I think Urban's going to be able to develop these younger guys. So I'm excited. I'm trying. My wife said, she goes, "Do you want to go down to Indianapolis and Nashville next year?" Yes, ma'am.
That's awesome. Yeah, Jags did really well. Definitely did really well. They gave them an A-, but they definitely filled some holes. And it's just like I said earlier with the new coach and the new quarterbacks for both these teams. It's just it hits the reset button, right? And you're able to instill a different type of culture here. For the Jets, I mean, I feel like for them, they're gonna be scrappy. They're gonna fight like every single down now just because of the guy that they got in charge. Feel like possibly the same thing for the Jags. I mean, I feel like you're gonna see a more efficient team and a well-coached team going forward. So, I mean, those are two teams I'm gonna be looking from a distance to see how they're doing every now and then. Because I mean, I'm excited.
I'll make sure. I'll let you know. Don't worry.
I appreciate that. All right, so we're gonna let's look at Phillies real quick.
Boom.
They gave him an A day 1, day 2 A-, day 3 A.
Yes, sir. We addressed a lot of needs. Well, yeah, somewhat of a lot of needs. We still have a lot of needs, but we touched on a couple of them. We got a dog in Devontae Smith. We hopefully with Landon Dickerson, we have Jason Kelsey's replacement. That's been a question in Philly for that couple of years. Will Kelsey retire? Will he not retire? He's still here this year. Now we have a lineman there to come in and learn from Kelsey, to come in and take the reins whenever Kelsey leaves. That's next year or the year after. So that's good. We still have first round pick from 2 years ago, Andre Dillard, for the left tackle. So we're young at the line. We have a dog out there at the wide receiver position. We're young at running back. At all the skill positions for the most part, we're young. For the offensive side of the ball, we're young, and so that part is good. Now, as far as addressing the defensive end, like you see, we got a defensive end, we got a cornerback, couple, and then some linebackers, and then the line. Howie is a big fan of developing that defensive line. He feels like he believes the football game is won on the offensive line and the defensive line. So he said he will never stop drafting linemen. I'm not really mad at it. We have one of the best defensive lines in the league. I feel like we are aging though, however. So to bring in a bunch of young guys who can come in and learn from the vets, I feel like we're smart and some good play. We'll see how they develop. But yeah, I love our draft. Like, I love Devontae Smith. You're not going to get no complaints from me. Like, with that number 10 pick, the move we made, I'm not mad at it. We'll see what happens with Ertz, but Ertz said he's willing to stay on the roster to play his contract out, but he does want to be shipped. But we'll see what happens.
Facts. I mean, you all drafted 3 edge rushers, so hey, all power to you. Do what you got to do. I mean, especially in that division. I mean, anybody's game.
Up for grabs. Up for grabs.
All right. Let's go to the other side of the state here. There we go. Ooh, they gave him an A.
All right. So look, definitely hugely excited about Najee Harris. We already know what a Bama running back is all about. So kudos to like the Steelers actually grabbing a top pick at that position. But the thing I'm most excited about, you guys, like, to be completely honest, is this Pat Freiermuth guy. Look, we needed a tight end in our scheme who can not only pass block and protect the quarterback as well as like catch the football. So this guy will be the second coming of Heath Miller. I believe he opted out, or he had like an injury last year, so the tape on him is limited. But I think he was the second tight end in the draft last year. So this year. Like, I'm very, very excited to see what he's going to be able to do within like the next couple of years. So we add in a guard that I was excited to get, Kendrick Green from Illini. Couple that with a Dan Moore offensive tackle. We needed a Buddy Johnson with the so we gained a buddy, but we lost Bud Dupree. So I mean that's definitely a good thing there. I just think we did a fantastic job overall. Hopefully the only thing that I'm hoping is we just need a run game. We need a run game to be relevant. Defensive side of the ball, we are very solid. Offense can get it done. Our group of wide receivers are very solid. But shout out to my Steelers. Hashtag Steeler Nation. Hashtag here we go, ladies and gentlemen.
Are you surprised that you guys didn't draft a quarterback?
No. I'm not surprised. After like that first group of quarterbacks there, I don't think there was nobody that was willing to be a true heir inside of the draft. So it got really, really foggy after those first couple of rounds with picking like quarterbacks. So I don't think you want to typically add a quarterback to your roster for them just to sit. You know what I mean? Like you guys did, like the Bears did. Now with what Jamar and the Bears did, they drafted a quarterback that they know who's just going to start eventually. You know what I mean? I just don't think that it was no guy in the later rounds who could be an heir apparent to Ben Roethlisberger.
And you still have Dewey Haskins on the board. I mean, in behind him, right?
Who?
Dewey Haskins.
Who?
Dewey Haskins.
I could have sworn Jamar just mentioned this guy as in the names of the Ohio State quarterbacks that you do not want to be. So we're gonna keep him out of the conversation here, Keelan. I'm still upset about that.
Well,
it's on Jamar right now. Go ahead, Jamar.
Mr. Strip Club in the middle of a pandemic.
right.
Dude, he got his captain title snatched out under him, man. Oh my gosh. All right, so from the scale of Dwayne Haskins to Justin Fields here. Yeah, so like I mentioned, the Bears got on one, we got on one, we got an A+ for that first round. Yeah, I'm just soaking it in. So second round we traded up and we got a nasty offensive tackle. I mean him and Justin Fields are gonna be best friends right there. We got another offensive tackle who's just as nasty. We got a running back who's not bad, a wide receiver. He's fine. This corner here. So I think this is a sneaky pick right here because from my understanding, I think his grade is a lot higher, but it's limited film because he opted out. And I feel like the guys that opt out, like they forgotten about and their draft stock, just happens to go down by default. So not saying he's going to replace Kyle Fuller by any means, but he can contribute. He's not going to be a scrub. Just overall, like it goes back to day one for me. It goes back to everything that domino effect that led to my Bears having Justin Fields. I'm probably after this podcast going to seriously start to try to pre-order me a jersey, man. I'm the cloud nine. I wake up every morning with a smile on my face now. I'm not on Zillow looking for another team to be a part of. I kind of mentioned Arizona because they got nice weather and stuff, but nowadays, it's bright again. The sun is outside. It's been sunny every day since that draft.
Birds is chirping.
Yes. Matter of fact, it was landing on my shoulders, giving me high fives when I stepped outside yesterday. I'm just soaking it in. You can't tell me nothing. You really can't.
Sound like your life turned into a Disney movie.
With a musical and all, man.
Yeah.
I'm soaking it in, man. So yeah, I feel like a lot of teams did really well, but I guess one team that I do want to bring up that didn't do so well, and their whole fan base here is wondering, was it bad? I know the Raiders was looking bad. It was somebody else. Hold on, wait for it. It was somebody that was just flat out terrible.
The Green Bay Packers.
Oh yeah, let's talk about them. How the heck they get an A? I don't buy this.
I honestly, NFL.com, I looked at theirs after the day was done, and I don't agree with a lot of these, bro. I don't.
They're all A's and B's.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, I'm fine with that.
Like,
They only got 5 picks.
They're in my division.
Did they really only have 5 picks?
yeah. Remember they traded their picks for Kenny Steele and that Tonsil guy on
Larry
offensive tackle.
Tunsil.
Yeah, they
Bill O'Brien should be in prison somewhere for this team.
Dude, that's ridiculous, bro.
Dude, he should never get a job in football. Ever. He currently does, by the way, but he should. Whew.
How you give him your first 2 round picks? It clearly says Houston gave up first and second round picks as far as the Larry Tunsil trade.
You didn't have a wow. That just goes to show you that just goes to show you how desperately they needed a quarterback. If all right, well, we know Deshaun Watson is coming back. We don't have a first or second round draft pick, so when we get to the 3rd round, whoever's there, just grab him. Just grab him.
Exactly what they did.
That's terrible.
Insane.
That is the worst ran franchise in the NFL. Like, I know my team has been bad for a long time with personnel decisions, but that team right there, how they treated their players, especially in the last 12 months, that team is terrible.
Can we quickly talk about because I mentioned like 3 teams that was inside of my top 3 with Mike's Jags being in my top 3, as well as the Jets, but the other team, which was Miami Dolphins. Like, let's pull them up real quick.
MIA.
I should just type in Dolphins with this.
Okay, so these guys did a fantastic job with these first 2 picks. That edge rusher, Jalen Phillips, from Miami, already staying in Miami, and that was where he's basically from. Like, dude, his family was in tears when he got drafted. I think he suffered like an injury, so I'm definitely hoping that he can come back strong. But those first 2 picks in Jalen Waddle and Jalen Phillips are great. Look, man, this team will be good. They will be able to compete on a level with that of the Bills this year. So you heard it here first. They will be. I got them winning 11 games this season. 11 games. They will be just that good. From top to bottom, they did everything that they needed to do. And a Hunter Long pickup from Boston College in like the late part of like the draft, that was fantastic. Miami, they will be a force to be reckoned with. They ain't the old Miami no more. They already showed us that last year. These guys are real.
It only took for Tom Brady to leave the division for them to want to win the division.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I think Tua will be on a short lead. Not this year, but just like in general, with the way they drafted. Like, he's going to have no excuse. We already know that defense is good. They got weapons. They drafted again. Well, like if Tua doesn't improve this year, I'm not sure if he'll be. They may draft a quarterback next year if he doesn't do it this year.
I mean, I hope they don't. You know.
Well, I hope they don't either. I want him to succeed.
Yeah, because I mean, I think everyone needs to be given like their fair share of time. And a year, I mean, he hasn't even I think Jamar mentioned that earlier. Like, he hasn't even like had like a full year of like starting up under his belt. So look, again, he got basically, those 9 games that he started under his belt, and he's going to come in this year and hopefully he'll just progress. And with this team, like right now, man, like, trust me, I am going to enjoy watching this football team play.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, NFL is not for long. It's not fair, but that's just the way it is. Tua has to go out here and ball. I hope he does. Like, I had him last year on my fantasy team, and I would be upset. I was upset when Fitzmagic was coming in closing games. Fitzmagic isn't there anymore. So, I mean, yeah, Tua going to have to learn how to play in the fourth quarter. I thought last year they did him a disservice by putting in Fitzmagic in those fourth quarters for those comebacks. Granted, Ryan did come in and play well, but
when you need somebody, when you're developing a player, not just a quarterback, but a player, you want him in these situations. Like a fourth quarter game on the line, I have my quarterback out there, win or lose, I'm riding with him. And I don't think they did that with Tua last year. Obviously, they didn't do it with Tua last year. So, I mean, he had no choice but to do it this year. So, yeah, I like Tua. So, hopefully, he will improve and he'll be the guy for years to come in Miami.
Yeah, that's what makes me not feel confident in him. That, and not even necessarily him. Maybe their ability to develop somebody as soon as things got tough, you just yanked them. Like I don't. You should let him lose. I don't. They're like holding his hand, trying to develop him. I don't. That's why I don't like.
I want to say I think it was like a lot of different directions. Like one side wanted, the team to win at no matter what, because they, was in a situation to win. The other side was like, well, we need to develop this guy, get him out there because Burrow and Herbert's out here balling, so let's get him out here as well. And however they, did it, they ended up winning 10 games, and it was just an embarrassing loss away from making the playoffs because the Bills was like, you're not getting the playoffs on my behalf, and they just routed them. And so, this, I feel like this is a perfect segue to fantasy impact, just because of the fact that Tua, like it is like high expectations for quarterbacks coming in the league now, right? Like if you are a first round quarterback and you have a lot of
promise.
And resume. Your resume is good from college, just like Tua was. He was a gamer, so it's like you're expected to succeed right away, and you can tell when Tua was out there. Like the timing with his receivers wasn't there. Like he was struggling to give Devontae Parker the ball. So people that drafted Devontae Parker last year, when they had Fitzmagic out there, you was like, yes. And then as soon as they switched it off, it's like I couldn't start the guy no more. So, Gesicki was probably his best target at the time. Gesicki became a top 10 tight end towards the end of the year by far. Probably won you a couple of games in the playoffs. But with them drafting Jalen Waddle now, I think you're probably definitely going to see more production out of Tua by default. It's just more so, getting a rapport with the rest of your guys at this point. I think that's just what it is. The running game isn't, the greatest, but it's solid. I mean, Myles Gaskin's probably going to be a starting running back and probably still has some value, but they could probably address that. But nevertheless, really quick, fantasy impact with these rookies here. Like, who do you think is going to make the biggest splash from day one?
Me, to be particularly honest, we got a lot of them, right? So I'm gonna give you three. I mean, without just making it obvious. Trevor Lawrence, right? I mean, he is the guy. That's pretty obvious. And Jamar, we have a dynasty fantasy league coming up. I'm quite sure he's going to go very, very high inside of that draft. So another guy I want to say is Keelan, your guy, Devontae.
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry, what's the guy's name?
Come on, man.
Devontae Smith. I'm sorry. So with him, being coupled up with a familiar face and like a quarterback, I think he can definitely make some noise there. Look, he is obviously you guys' best playmaker right now in that receiving core. So I think he can do some damage there as well. So he is probably a wide receiver that you want to pick up in like the later 6 to 7 rounds if you already got your starters already established. So in a third for me, man, it's kind of really tough to say. But I mean, honestly, I'm going to go my guy. I'm going to go Najee Harris. If you have a running back that can get close to the goal line and punch him in, that's what fantasy football is all about. You want those guys to be able to score touchdowns. And if he is able to be the RB1 at season start, I think Najee Harris will be a very good pickup in like the mid to late round. So, but that's just my three, and that's just right off the top of the dome. But all of these guys, Travis Etienne's and guys of that nature, Jamar Chase's, even though there's a lot of mouths to feed up on that team, it's just this would be a very good year for fantasy rookies, you guys. And someone is going to be this year's Justin Jefferson. It's just who will that person be?
I had a few people, like in our chat, but then I had somebody else was upset with the Etienne pickup because like James Robinson's value is completely drops with them drafting him.
It does, but then again, it's like you look at other running back duos that have been productive, like the one inside of like Cleveland. They can maybe take that sort of approach. Etienne, but I mean he's legit. He's legit, and I think he can do more inside the passing game at this point than he can do inside of the run. So get that guy out in open space, and he is electric. So hopefully, Urban Meyer is a smart guy. Hopefully, he'll be able to use the duality of those two guys.
Yeah. Same for me. If I could go three, Trevor Lawrence, Devontae Smith, Kyle Pitts. So yeah, all those people will be pretty good when it comes to fantasy. I just want to throw this out there: is Tebow coming back or no? But anyway,
we don't know just yet, but he's no Kyle Pitts. We know that.
Trevor Lawrence, obviously. Kyle Pitts over there with Julio and Calvin Ridley, Matt Ryan. They're going to throw the ball. They have like no running game. So I think Kyle Pitts will be eating this year. I mean, he will have a feast, especially they still have Hayden Hurst there. So, I mean, yeah, Kyle Pitts, I feel like will have a big year out the gate. I think he may. Outside of Trevor Lawrence, because he's like the quarterback. I think Kyle Pitts I'll probably put him unbiasedly ahead of Devontae Smith, but I still think Devontae Smith will be rookie of the year.
Oh man.
Oh.
All right. I would say for me, I would say, Kyle Pitts is already greater than Jason Pitts, so Kyle Pitts, he's definitely in the best case scenario for fantasy. He, like I said earlier, he's a top 5 pick. He's a top 5 tight end pick this year. I'm putting that on record. You know what? I'm gonna throw another one out here that we briefly mentioned that we all like that this team picked. I'm going to say Michael Carter.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like he's definitely gonna have impact right away, especially with it having a new scheme, new everything. And the other running back dimension is Tevin Coleman. So I think Carter can, because Carter was supposed to get drafted a lot higher than what he did.
Yes, he was.
So I like that one. Then of course, you got the Trevor, Sunshine Lawrences of the world, and the Waddles and Devontae Smith. So and Chase. So like you said, Deshaun, this is a great rookie class that probably gonna have impact right away in a lot of different areas. I'm just anxiously waiting on number 1 in Chicago to just take the field, and he'll have an impact as well. So, yeah. And
Allen Robinson's probably happy.
Oh, heck yeah, dude! As soon as he drafted, I went on, because as you saw, I was active on Twitter that day, and so Allen Robinson basically gave him a link to find him a place and some deep dish pizza.
Hooking him up already, huh?
Heck yeah, dude! David Montgomery, welcomed him, and
how many? I feel so bad for Allen Robinson. I forgot who his quarterback was in college. Man, I can't remember, but it was not somebody like you'd know the name, but you're like, ugh. And then Blake Bortles and Mitch Trubisky and Foles for a minute. That man's got to be through the roof, and any of his fantasy owners.
And it's crazy because despite the bad quarterback play he has seen in his career, he is still a productive wide receiver. Just imagine when Justin Fields get on the field and start launching that guy the ball. It's going to get hectic.
If there's ever been a wide receiver to have an excuse for poor production, it would be Allen Robinson, and yet he just continues to produce.
No matter who's under center. That's why he's one of my favorite guys, not only in fantasy football and real football.
For real.
Yeah.
Facts. Then really quick, morning, Brandon.
My brother, what's up?
Oh, while I'm thinking about it. So Dynasty League. I know I mentioned that to you, Mike, before, and I forgot what you said. If you was thinking about it, I don't know if you want to do it or not.
Yeah, I'll be in.
That's 6. Keelan, would you want to do one?
We can. I have some questions. We can talk about them after we wrap it up. But I'm interested. I just have a couple questions about it once we wrap it up. But yeah, I'm interested.
All right. So matter of fact, let's wrap it up because I'll answer your questions, but I got to run to the store shortly here. So, all right. Giveaway. So finally got a product here that we are going to give away. So this here is our Monster Amongst Men design. He looks pretty similar to somebody in the NFL. And
nice.
So we got this free giveaway. Where I have more details next week of how you can participate and partake and eventually get you one. We might have a few of them to give out. So yeah, just be on the lookout. Details next week, and anybody that's a fan of the GOAT. I mean, we got something for that as well. But Deshaun, where can they find us, man?
Man, you can find us everywhere where podcasts are found: Apple, Spotify, Pandora, Amazon Music, and wherever you can find podcasts. We are there. Make sure you give us a like on YouTube, give us a follow on YouTube, comment. We are streaming live right now on Facebook as well as YouTube. Check out the YouTube channel if you like our content. Make sure you punch that thumbs up. It definitely helps the YouTube algorithm, and it helps us to be able to grow our channel. So we always appreciate the shout out, and the love from all of you guys.
That is fact. So, all right. So I want to once again thank our special guest for popping up today, Mike Myers, Keelan Jackson. Honestly, you all have open invites to join any week you want to. You could be talking about whatever, but anytime you want to come on, go ahead and do so.
Appreciate you.
No doubt.
Yes, sir. Anytime. I'm always available.
I know that you would be happy, man, to talk about your guy Devontae Smith, rookie of the year,
trophy winner, rookie of the year, future Hall of Famer Devontae Smith. Get his name right.
Look at this dude, man. If anybody say the GOAT, and he just magically appears, man, like freaking Candyman.
Whenever you mention Brady, he comes around like.
Shout out to my little bro.
Oh man, but all right. So for Deshaun, Keelan, Mike, who's been popping in and out here, Jamar, see you all next week. Deuces and much love.
Peace.
Appreciate y'all.